Hi there, and thank you so much for joining me. I hope your year is off to a good start, and if it's not so good, I wish it was hopeful nonetheless. My husband and I, we normally go to North America to visit family during the holiday season, but this year we spent Christmas and New Year's in Japan. What is Christmas time in Japan? Basically, Christmas time in Japan can be summed up in 4 points: illumination, date night, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and Christmas cake. Illumination is a Japanese word for decking out scenery and landscapes with Christmas lights. They would specifically designate huge areas of land just for showing off Christmas lights and Christmas scenery. And to tie in with illumination, a lot of couples go to these events because it creates for a very romantic atmosphere. And even Tokyo Disney Sea is running an event with Duffy and friends called Cape Cod Twinkling Christmas. Now, going back to the whole couples thing, Christmas time is not so much for family here. I mean, it's not even a national holiday. It's not a public holiday. It's not a holiday, period. It's not recognized in this country. So that means it's like any other day. It's a work day. It's a school day. There's very little Christmas spirit here. There's no such thing as like spreading joy and happiness and good cheer. Christmas season here is an especially trying time for anyone that comes from the Western countries. But fortunately, I have been blessed with a very strong community of friends here, so it wasn't so bad. And then you have Kentucky Fried Chicken and Christmas cake. Kentucky Fried Chicken on Christmas is a serious deal, as in you would have to make a reservation to pick up your Christmas bucket of chicken weeks ahead of time, and sometimes you even have to reserve the time that you're coming into the store to pick up your bucket. It's something that you would do after you come home from a hard day of work. You would sit down and grab your bucket with your family and have a go at the chicken. And it's not like it's a special kind of chicken, it's just like your everyday Kentucky chicken. I have really no idea why this is a tradition. My best guess is that they've probably seen Americans do it on TV, on the media, the way they celebrate Christmas in movies. All they recognize is that they have this giant bird. But turkey is not a thing in Japan. It's very hard to find turkey here. And so instead of turkey, they substituted that with chicken. And I can't really complain because it's Kentucky Fried Chicken. I mean, who doesn't love Kentucky Fried Chicken? And while KFC here is super expensive, as in like 3 times the price here, it's basically a guilty pleasure for the Japanese people here. So I guess you can call that like a special Christmas treat. And finally, Christmas cake. And all it really is a strawberry shortcake with some Christmas toppings. Like you can have a little tiny Santa on top, or a little sign that says Merry Christmas, or a little bit of holly, and that's about as Christmassy as it gets. On my end, we didn't have really any Christmas cake because it's not really our thing, although one year I did order ice cream cake from Baskin Robbins, and it was a 6-piece set, and each piece had different flavors, so that was really cool. And at a different time, a friend brought over a bunch of Kentucky Fried Chicken for a potluck lunch. I guess you can say we had Kentucky Fried Chicken not on Christmas Day, but during the Christmas season, so I guess that counts. I did see illumination as well, only it wasn't the kind with lights, like the Christmas lights. There's actually a different kind of illumination that happens during the winter season, and that's the one with the autumn leaves. And what it is that a bunch of shrines and temples, especially in Kyoto, they have these really ornate and well-kept gardens, and those gardens get light up at night. And it's a really beautiful scene during the fall season because the leaves are changing color. So you have that plus light up, and it's at night, so it makes for a really cool effect, and it's just so gorgeous. And I would actually like to share a picture that I took at one of those areas in Kyoto. It's a really unique event. I recommend anyone who's in the Kyoto area, especially during the months of November and December, which is when the light up events happen, to just go check it out. As I mentioned in my last video, and while it is a little bit late, I would very much like to share the things that I got over the holidays, including the Christmas presents I received. Because it's me and because it's this channel, a lot of the things are going to be Disney based. Actually, a lot of the Disney things that I will be showing in this video are not from the official Disney store, and while they are not from the Disney store themselves, they are very much licensed official Disney products, and some of the things that you can get from non-Disney stores are pretty cool. And the first one being from a toy supercenter called Kiddyland. Now, if you've been to Japan and been around the Shibuya area before, you've probably come across one of these many chains. And it's essentially a store that houses famous toy brands like Sanrio, Capybara, Koppen-chan, Snoopy, to name a few. And of course, one of its sections is devoted to Disney. And that section is called Disney Avenue. Now, you're probably wondering, should I even go check out the Disney section in Kiddyland? And I'll tell you, yes. All of the things that they carry in Kiddyland that are Disney related cannot, and I mean cannot, be found at the Disney store. They are under different companies, so they are actually not allowed to carry Disney store related items. And it's definitely worth taking a look because some of the things that they have, especially the stationery stuff, are pretty cool. I didn't get this as part of my holiday haul, but I just wanted to show you an example of what I mean by how awesome their stationery is. Now, I got this around the time when they were promoting a bunch of Donald merchandise in relation to his birthday, so it was around early fall. Now, this is a memo book. When you open it up, it's actually a 4-page book of memos. And this one has Donald Duck because he's my guy. And you can see here in each of the 4 sections of the pages, it has a unique memo. Here you have the nephews, here is Donald, and here is a parfait, and I believe that's a jelly because this is sweet themed. It is called the Donald Cafe after all. And here you have Donald himself in 4 different types of smaller memos, and here you have those finger-like memos that have all the designs from the 3 other pages here. But wait, that's not all, because at the back of the book, specifically on the outermost pages, there are actually sticky tabs. And these sticky tabs you can pull out and put on your calendar book. So it kind of acts like a tab. I don't exactly know the term for that specifically, but I hope you know what I mean. It's supposed to stick out of the page itself to mark the page. So you can probably see why it's worth a stop to head over to the Disney section, because they have some pretty cool stationery there, and a lot of the times I prefer the stationery over the ones that you find at the Disney store. A, because it's quite functional. B, because the designs I find are more cute or unique. And C, this costs 550 yen. Which is a pretty great deal as far as a stationery book goes. The Disney store also does carry memo books. It's much bigger though, it's more expensive, and I find that the memos to be a little bit too large for what I need them to do, so this is quite a good size for me. And because of how small and compact it is, it can fit easily in a pencil case or in your backpack or even in a wallet. I have never seen a Disney store carry a memo book of this size, so if you see something like this, I think it's worth picking up. On the same topic of stationery, there are also a bunch of Disney pens. And Sarasa, one of the top ball pen companies in Japan, and maybe you've heard of them, they're especially known for their gel pens. We're doing a princess-related line of gel pens. As far as I can oh crap. I just had to get away from filming for a while because a giant stink bug just flew out of nowhere and I had to step away to deal with that. But it's all good now, so let's continue with the haul. And I was talking about the Sarasa Disney Princess line. Now, as far as I recall, they had Ariel, Belle, Rapunzel, and Cinderella. And it's only very recently that Belle started to appear in that lineup. And as a Beauty and the Beast fan, it's a good time to be in Japan. Now, there were 2 types that Sarasa released, one being the regular black gel pen and the other being a colored, and get this, scented pen. I really like this art style. It seems very Victorian, maybe? That's the word I'm looking for. And maybe it's hard to see, but the body of the pen has glitter, and all around it has motifs related to the princesses, like that teacup here. And the clip is currently blocking it, but there's a pumpkin carriage here. Now for the color scented gel pen, I only got Belle. And this one says it's citrus flavored. It's not very strong, so if you're not particularly fond of strongly scented pens, this one is okay. This is bearable. Here is Belle in that same Victorian art style. And again, motifs related to the princesses. So here's Mrs. Potts and Chip. And I don't know what that is. And there's a book. I think I saw Lumiere here. Yep, there's Lumiere, and there's that enchanted mirror. It's kind of sad that Cogsworth is not part of this, but oh well. And that's it for the Kiddyland haul. Next, we'll move on to a home center called Aeon. Yes, it's called Aeon, and in English it spells out A-E-O-N. Japan has weird namings for things sometimes. I mean, there's a children's store called Starvations. If you don't believe me, you can look that up. So Aeon is a home center, kind of like Target or Kmart, I would say. So that means you can find Disney things in various departments. You can find Disney bedding, slippers, lunch boxes, and some Aeons have a stationery section, so you can definitely find Disney there, like notebooks and pencil cases and cards. You think it, you name it, there's probably something Disney there. I picked up something from their stationery section, and this particular lineup is of the Uniball RE ball pens, and they are the erasable kind, and I got the Mickey and Minnie one. And what I particularly like about this pen is not only is it erasable, it also has this really cute cap top. That was a mouthful to say. And it is in the shape of Mickey ears. So you take this off, erase away, and then you put it back on, and you're good to go. In their clothing aisle section, I stumbled upon these in the past week, and I had no idea because there is very little advertising for Disney items from Aeon, but they had released a number of sweaters related to Mickey's 90th birthday. And I bought 2 sweaters. Sweater number 1 is this one that I'm currently wearing. It has Mickey sort of peeking out of my pocket, as you can see here, and it has his whole body, just his feet are hidden from the pocket. And on my sleeve, you can see Mickey Mouse print in here, and that's as far as the designs go. Sweater number 2 is this light gray sweater, and it features the iconic Mickeys throughout the years. So you can see Steamboat Willie, Conductor Mickey, Magician Mickey, Jack and the Beanstalk Mickey, I forget what that one is, and finally modern day Mickey. And at the bottom it says Mickey, the true original 90 years of imagination. And like I said, these are officially licensed Disney products. It has a Disney tag on here, and here is the tag for the 90 years of magic. And the great thing about Aeon is that their prices are much less compared to the Disney store. When you're looking to buy a sweater from the Disney store, it's at least $40 to $50. This one, $10. Or 1,000 yen. Yeah, so I picked up 2. In terms of quality, I would say they're not as good as Uniqlo. They're a step up higher than GU. The fabric is pretty thick. It's fleece lined inside, so it's a warm sweater. I'm expecting it to last a couple of washes. I'm not expecting it to last throughout the years, so it's not bad. It's really not bad. And last but not least, and while it is not a Disney related item, it's still one of the more interesting things that you can find in Japan. And it is this DIY candy kit. This is a new one, the latest one from Kurashie. Kurashie is the company that makes all these pop-in cooking sets or DIY candy sets. And a lot of the times when I'm making these kits, I find myself thinking, kids can't do these things because it requires like really fine motor skills, and a lot of the pieces are small, and so are the utensils, and the things you make are very tiny, so it requires a lot of precision and accuracy. It's just like maybe Asian kid level, but most kids probably can't do this perfectly. If you're trying to find a really unique souvenir to bring back with you, these make for an incredible souvenir, and they're super affordable at about 230 yen a box. You can probably stack up a bunch of these and put it in your luggage and not have to worry about the weight. Anyway, this one is one of their more recent ones that came out this year, and it's called Dekitate Panyasan. Dekitate means freshly baked, and Panyasan means bread shop, so freshly baked bread shop. And as you can see from the picture, you are basically making bread from powder, which is pretty cool, I think. Here's a melon bread, here is a strawberry Danish, and here is an animal bread. Well, usually they would say what kind of flavor their sweets are supposed to taste like, but I don't see any of that. So I'm guessing it's supposed to taste like a melon bread. This is supposed to taste like a strawberry Danish, and this is supposed to taste like a bear bread, whatever a bear bread tastes like. I'm really excited to try this. I find there's nothing more satisfying than making stuff and then eating it. The next 2 items are Christmas presents from my husband, and one of them being from one of Japan's biggest retail clothing stores, Uniqlo. In the past month, Uniqlo recently released a Disney pajama set. There were 2 releases of this line, the first one being in the month of November, and the second line happened around mid-December. They had designs featuring Mickey, Minnie, Pooh, and most recently Jack Skellington. Now, I gave my husband a huge nudge nudge wink wink on the design that I wanted, and he delivered. It is this Mickey Mouse one. I'm a little bit bummed that there are no hidden Mickeys, and the only really Disney related thing is this Mickey embroidered patch. But that doesn't matter because I have to say this is probably the softest of anything fleece I have ever owned. I mean, I have sweaters, blankets, throws, and even towels containing fleece, but this is the softest, and I mean the softest fleece I have ever felt in my entire life. And I believe this set can also be found in the North American stores. If you're able to get a hold of one of these and you love being wrapped up in a cloud, this is your thing. And this has been through at least 2 washes now, and it is still super soft. So I am incredibly impressed with the quality. I mean, Uniqlo has good quality, but this is just, nothing beats this softness so far. My second Christmas present from my husband is this tea bag set from Lupicia. And Lupicia is a Japanese tea shop chain. And what I really like about Lupicia is that they have a variety of teas. So they have black teas and oolong teas and green teas, and they have so many kinds within that category of teas. And this one in particular, as you can probably guess from the design, is their Christmas tea bag set. It contains 6 different kinds of teas. They are really into English names and English spelling for their teas, so which is why you don't really see any Japanese on their design, but you do find Japanese at the back when they list their ingredients. And this is a Christmas special, which means this kind of tea only comes out during the winter time. Another thing I love about this tea shop is that it's very affordable, and you can choose between 2 kinds of packaging. So you can choose the loose leaf tea or the tea bags. So you have 2 different options and 2 different prices. I highly recommend this shop for any and all tea lovers. The next item I got is a Christmas present from a friend, and it is from a shop called Frang, which is, I believe, a French word. I don't know what it means, but that's how they say it in Japan, Frang. I got this Mickey and Minnie mug pair set. I'm not sure if you can get this particular pair in stores these days because I don't really visit that shop. And as you can see here, it's kind of like Hidden Mickey focused. And there's a paint splotch design, and this one is a black one that features gold hidden Mickeys among the paint splotches. And this one is a white mug that has more colorful paint splotches, and the Mickey heads are still in gold. And that's what I especially like about this design. It's not like in-your-face Disney. It passes up for being a really basic mug, but at the same time it caters to all Disney fans. Frang is basically a home interior and a houseware store, and this is actually my first Disney mug I own from that store. Here they are together. I believe it's aimed for couples, the dark one being for the guy and the lighter one being for the girl. I'm really excited to put these into good use. We received a Mickey and Minnie pair mug set as a wedding present long ago, and so to have a second pair is pretty exciting. And now, without further ado, the haul from the Disney Store. And the next best thing to the Disney Store merchandise is Disney Store merchandise on sale. Now, this is a drink bottle, but I know that's not how you normally say it. Let me just take a moment to revert back to English, and that would make it a thermos. So this is a thermos, and there were 2 kinds. There was a Donald thermos, which is the one I'm holding here, and there was a Winnie the Pooh thermos. And you know, I had to get the Donald one. This was originally 2,500. I got this half off, making this about 1250 yen. Here's what it looks like. It says at the top here, you can find something new. I don't really get it. Japan Disney Store really likes English phrases, and they just kind of slap it on in there. What I'm more into is not only that there is a giant picture of Donald in the front, but if you take a closer look at the pattern that is on the body, you can see smaller characters, Disney characters of Mickey here, Minnie, and Pluto that are all scattered around the body of the thermos bottle. And here at the back you can see a smaller Donald looking longingly at a butterfly. The lock mechanism for this thermos is pretty cool. There is a flap here that if you pull it down as such, it's supposed to lock in the switch so you can't open it. And then you put it back up and then that releases the lock and then it pops back open. This is advertised to hold hot drinks for about 6 hours and cold drinks for 8 hours, and I've used it once already and it's did a pretty good job. When I went back to the Disney store a few days ago, they still had a bunch of these in stock. Not so much the Pooh ones left, but in terms of quality, I think it's really good. It's sturdy, it feels durable. The lock mechanism is, I think, worth the value of 1250 yen. Definitely good stuff. The next item I have here is this small pouch. At first glance, I'm pretty sure you can guess what these characters are supposed to be. These are the Unibears of the Nightmare Before Christmas characters. Just as Duffy and Friends are the plush mascots of the Tokyo Disney Resort, Unibear City is the plush teddy bear mascot for the Disney store. And the Nightmare Before Christmas Unibear City lineup was released, I believe, in the month of November. And they still had a few of these small pouches lying around, and I just couldn't resist picking up one because I actually own the Zero Unibear. Oh, and by the way, as the Unibear plush, they are not called their Disney names. They're not Jack, Zero, and Sally. They actually have their own names. This is Torito, Toriku, and Kiruto. Treat, trick, as in trick or treat, and quilt. And turning this around, you can see a coffin-like element, and it says here, Tim Burton, The Nightmare Before Christmas. And the last couple of items from the Disney store are hand creams, and I picked up 2 of them. This one here is by an Italian company called Rudy. I have actually never heard of it outside of Japan. And this one has Winnie the Pooh on the front, and the scent is Magnolia, and it contains aloe vera. I'm expecting to use this in the months of spring and summer. This is a lighter based cream. I also got a heavier cream, or rather a deep moisturizing cream, and here is Donald on the front of the packaging. It is yuzu scented. Yuzu is a kind of citrus fruit. The taste and the color is like between an orange and a lemon. It's like in the middle. And here at the top it says here it's supposed to be organic. And this is a Korean company, but I'm not familiar with this particular brand, so I'm gonna take their word for it. What was your favorite item from this haul? What stores do you think you'd like to check out? Have you ever come across these items before? I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I wish you happy days and warm hearts. See you in the next video!